whether as we asked all our guests as well, whether the green shoots of recovery that we're seeing in the CV cycle are for real, because the discounts for CV sales have vanished. This is what dealers are saying. Pre-bookings for CVs have improved at dealers, and the big fleet operators are fueling the demand. So what we've done today is get you a CV seller as well as fleet runner to talk about how real is this demand that people are talking about in the CV space. So Vinod Aggarwal, who is the MD of TCI, joins us on the show. In a moment from now, we'll also have the management of Eicher Motors coming in and speaking about their thoughts on this recovery. But good having you, both of you. Actually, yeah, both of them are with us now. Thanks so much for joining in, both of you. Vinod, let me start off with you first. How real is this demand for commercial vehicles? Because the feedback that we got on channel checks is that even big fleet operators are fueling this demand for recovery in the commercial vehicles. Is that a correct assessment, Vinod?
Hi, good morning. As a company, we are present in 1,400 locations and we get a sense of what is being picked up all across the country. So in many ways, the transportation industry is a barometer to what is happening to the economy. I think that in the last few months, whatever demand that we've seen that has grown in the CV sector is a result of certain amount of pent-up demand that is there in the last 2 years. As you know, in the last 2 years, there has been negative CV sales, and at least in the medium to heavy vehicle sectors. So I do not think demand is there fully. I think some of it is pent-up demand. Some of it is replacement trucks. People who did not replace trucks then are replacing them now. I do not see a lot of demand in CVs coming from new orders yet. I think that's still early days.
Hi, morning. Want to get you in also into the discussion. Now, we're picking from our channel checks that discounts by CV players, especially on larger vehicles, is decreasing. What is your own trend? What is it that you're seeing on ground?
No, definitely with the industry improving, the discounts have to continue to come down. Because when the industry is improving and the capacity is getting more and more utilized, the discounts have to come down. So that's the absolutely natural thing to happen.
Yeah, but I think what Aisha is trying to ask you is whether you are witnessing improved demand by fleet operators or your big dealers, particularly for your larger vehicles, Vinod.
Yeah, fleet operators, specifically if you look at the heavy-duty trucks, which is 60 ton and above, the fleet operators have become really positive and they have started replacing their fleet and they have started adding to their fleet. So as a result of that, heavy-duty trucks in first 5 months of the current year, they have grown by 35%. So in fact, heavy-duty trucks for last around 9 months to 12 months, they are growing. So that's the result of this entire positivity in the system. The sentiments are turning positive, and we should see this industry becoming more and more better as we go along.
Mining operators, we understand, have already started pre-booking for the possible demand uptick which may be seeing. Are you getting those kind of inquiries?
No, mining, definitely coal mining is very, very positive. So wherever the coal mining trucks are used, there we have seen very good growth in fact. Like for example, we sell Volvo trucks in coal mining, very high-end trucks. So there we have experienced 40% growth in Volvo trucks. And going forward, you will see a lot of actions in the coal mines. For example, Government of India has the target that the production from Coal India itself should go up to 1 billion tons, which is currently close to 600 million tons. So if that production growth has to be achieved, there will be a lot more mining happening in the mines with the Coal India. And apart from that, the new mines which are going to open up as a result of these auctions, those will add to the further production, and that will add to further demand of the coal mining trucks. And one in the mining trucks, then you need the trucks for transportation of coal.
Vinod, what is the sense that you're getting? I mean, just further to the point that you were making about whether or not on-ground recovery is visible right now or not. What about companies like you? Are you guys in particular placing large CV orders?
So for companies like us, we own only about 1,200 trucks and we add about 100, 150 trucks a year. we add those trucks based on the fact that some of them are replacement trucks and some of them are new orders. The sense we're getting from companies across is that the order flow still has to pick up. There are certain areas that orders have picked up, but in certain sectors, clearly engineering, industrials, certain amount of infrastructure sectors, the growth is still very, very lagged. I think we are looking at perhaps another 3 to 6 months more before that pick starts happening. And so I would assume that certain CV or companies like us have started to build up certain capacity in anticipation for that growth that might be coming in.
Okay, well, then the other question that we would have is that if indeed this recovery is not completely certain but is showing the green shoots, what happens when the recovery is in full bloom, and by when do you foresee the recovery to be in full bloom?
See, almost impossible to predict, but what happens is that last year, once the new government came in, we saw actually an inventory push that started happening sometime in June, July last year. So there was a build-up because sentiments had changed, but then that started coming down. I know a lot of companies had very poor quarters in the in Q4 last year. And this first quarter and the second quarter is also going to be a bit subdued. But I do see that once the festival season kicks in and let's say in September, October, I'll see some amount of inventory pick up and build up that will happen across the system. And then Q4 of this year should be definitely a lot better, given the fact that the government is oriented towards these large ticket reforms like GST, like certain simplification of taxes, etc.
What is your sense? I mean, is the cyclical, okay, historically though, what have been the signs of a CV recovery which will tell you for sure that a cyclical recovery is surely underway?
No, it's very clearly the heavy-duty trucks are the first ones to drop and they are the first ones to recover. So heavy-duty trucks, we have seen the growth, and this has to now spread to the light and medium-duty trucks. Now, light and medium-duty trucks also, the decline has stopped. Like first 5 months, there is a marginal growth of 1.6% in 5 to 15 ton trucks. So when we have stopped the decline, now after around maybe 6 months, we will see more growth coming in the light and medium-duty trucks as well. And then there is a very good growth in the schooling, in the buses segments, which are largely used by schools and staffing segments and route permits. And there also we have seen very good growth.
So Vinod, give us an update on how are inventory levels of your products across the large dealers, and compared to that, what is the capacity utilization levels that you are maintaining across your plants?
No, inventory levels are very normal. Inventory levels we have never overstocked. So inventory levels normally they are around 15 days to 1 month. So that continues to be like that only. So there is no over inventory. So we produce as per the requirements of sale only. So there is no overstocking. As far as the capacity utilization is concerned, we are still operating at around 60 to 70% capacity.
Vineet, how is the sharp surge in the e-commerce business aiding profitability for you?
E-commerce has various aspects of the business, and clearly one aspect is the last mile delivery. For last mile delivery, you need different kinds of trucks, you need the smaller vehicles, and it more acts like a hub and spoke kind of a system. But for us, e-commerce is not just that. It is also the warehousing piece. It is also the back-end piece of actually supplier management. So we do a lot of work at the supplier coordination, getting all the suppliers into the warehouse at the right time. And at the warehouse level, we do complete inventory management, complete order processing, from pick, pack, order, pack, invoicing, and then ready to dispatch. So the e-commerce business is a small portion of our business today, but going forward, the two main divisions of ours that have high growth, the express and the supply chain divisions, both will see a lot of growth coming from this sector. And also, we have to remember that e-commerce is a way of doing retail differently. I think India will skip a generation of the big store retail formats, and we'll probably move directly into homes and home deliveries. So that would mean that the way that we are selling regular stuff today will also change. It's not just the e-commerce retailers that will have to change the supply chain, but other companies as well.
Okay, great having you, both of you. Thanks so much for taking the time out and joining in and giving us that perspective. Well, that's the best that you can do as far as a CV cycle discussion goes. Get in somebody who's a manufacturer, get in somebody who's a user, a large fleet operator, to get a sense of when would the recovery be in full bloom. Clearly, both of them are saying that they can't really place a finger on when would the CV cycle be at its peak, but they do believe that it is underway, realistically underway, and things are looking reasonably good. TCI marginally up in the session. Aisha just about ho-hum.
Sorry, that's exactly what Rhythm Desai was also talking about, right? He's like, green shoots are visible there if you take a look at the consumption patterns. More importantly, he said the auto sales.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a case for him being a little more bullish than other experts on the street, that recovery is in sight. It's just a matter of time. It could take 4 months or 6, but it'll happen.
Yeah, and the good part is that Rhythm's case was about how urban demand is coming back. So he's talking about urban car sales. We're actually hearing from CV manufacturers and users
which
that
is
the
even
CV
better.
thing is also back in track. So it is actually a good sign. Nevertheless, let's take a break on that note. We come back and talk about the stocks which are in news, the 2 top losers on the indices today. So Tata Steel hit by that strike announcement and the unrest. I'm just loosely using the term, the unrest in the workers. And then, of course, Can India, which has been hammered down today on the possible merger news.